Welcome. We met you at a women's, what was the?
Dripping Springs Women's
Dripping
Club.
Springs
Yep.
Women's Club. We did a little presentation about starting a podcast, and you reached out to us, and you came in. This is your second time in the studio, but welcome to actually being on our show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell us, we always start off with, how did you end up in Dripping Springs?
Well, how did I end up in Dripping Springs is we were looking at a house in South Austin, and so we lived in South Austin. After we got married, we were there, and we had a very small house. We were going to renovate the garage because we had a baby on the way.
Oh.
And the funny thing is that when we were in that house, we loved it so much. We were like, we want to stay in the South area. We just need to find something that's a little bigger. When we were comparing the cost of like renovating the garage and making it into a bedroom versus buying a new house, right? Mm-hmm. And if you knew our space, we had, I think it was 90% studio.
Oh, wow.
So Moon Lab Studios in Kingdom Sound used to be one company.
And they were in the garage?
Oh, no, that was the whole house.
That was
90% of the house.
Oh, my gosh.
Was the studio.
Geez. Okay.
And 10% was our home. It was just the bedroom. And we had the kitchen.
Oh.
And that was it.
Wow.
You know, and with a kid on the way, and it was COVID too, so I was pregnant during COVID. We were like, this is not going to work out. So we either need to renovate the garage and make the kids' room over there, which is just random. Like, you know, why would you do that, right? And or find another house. So we found a house in South, like Manchac area, and it was beautiful. It had river access, like little river area.
Really?
It was high up. Yeah, it was like the Manchac. I can't remember the Onion Creek.
Oh yeah,
that's what it was. Okay. But we were so excited. It wasn't the ideal size, and it was big enough. But we were going to put our studio in the master bedroom.
Oh, wow.
And we were going to live in the other side of the house. And the kids' room was super small, but it had a beautiful balcony, and it had a bed outside that you could like swing on, and it was just like.
But
like,
you didn't buy that one?
And nope, we did not. So this is a funny story. So it was close to Sprouts, close to everything. And what ended up happening is we were about to go under contract. The realtor, she just vanished. Like we couldn't get a hold of her. The owner couldn't get a hold of her. The owner reached out to us and found out about us. So she called us and she was like, oh yes, like I don't know what happened to my realtor. I haven't heard back from her. She's not answering any of my phone, like nothing. Like she was just vanished. And we were like, okay, that's weird. And then we were talking to the owner more, and we were like, oh yeah, so she had mentioned that, you know, you're on the 10-year floodplain, right? And we're like, well, we don't want to do that. Like, when was the last time it flooded? It's like, oh no, yeah, it flooded, and it came all the way to the top. We were like, what?
Oh, I'm glad you found that out.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he didn't
like,
hear back from the realtor, because it's really it's very expensive to have a house that's in the floodplain. Very expensive.
Yeah. So we were like, I was like, we asked the realtor, had there been any water? And there's like, oh no, it did during the 10-year floodplain. So it's not going to happen again in another 10 years.
Yeah, well, that's not
necessarily how it works. Yeah. Well, now we know. But yeah, so the owner just very blatantly was like, all the way to the top. And my husband's like, what? I was like, our gear? There's no way.
Oh, no kidding.
So we were like, well.
Even with insurance.
Yeah. We were like, well, that's not going to be a plan. And that's just, we're out of it, right? So then we started looking, and my brother-in-law, he's a realtor, and he's in the Lakeville area, and he kind of like knew what we were looking for. And then we kind of narrowed down. We're like, okay, we want land. We want to be a little bit outside the city. We want to be close enough to like a city or a small town, but we don't want to be in Austin. So he found a property here in Dripping Springs on 11.5 acres.
Oh.
The pictures online, I mean, ugly. Like, you look at the pictures, you're like,
was it one of those places that looked much better in person?
So we showed up.
Yeah.
We pulled up. We got to the top of the hill, because it's at the top of the hill, and the view was like,
that's what sold it for you, I bet.
Yeah. And that was it. Like, we just, like, the backyard, like the field.
Was there a house on it, or was it just land?
No, there's a house.
Oh, there's a house.
Yeah, so we needed a house, with some land. We weren't expecting to get 11.5 acres. We were looking maybe like 5 acres.
Sure.
But when we were looking at the Onion Creek, it was the same price range, but more land, a bigger house, the more square footage. But yes, it didn't look beautiful in online pictures. But then when we go inside, we're like, okay,
We
you
can
know,
make this
we
work.
can make this work. It's
Yeah.
like white walls, you know,
Yeah.
everything. It was kind of like that, you know, brown colors and things like that. And I was like, okay. I was like, let's do it.
That's
So
great.
we fell in love, and that was it. We didn't even look for another one, I don't think.
That
know,
was
Barb,
that was the one.
Your accent tells me that you are not native
I'm
to
not.
the Austin area.
I am not.
Where did you originally grow up?
Monterrey, Mexico.
Monterey.
Yeah, originally from Monterrey, Mexico.
And what brought you to Texas?
So family,
Okay.
you know, they own properties, all that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then I ended up going to St. Edward's University here
Okay.
in Austin. Well, not Dripping Springs, but in Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then during that time, I also studied abroad. I did the 6-year college program
Uh-huh.
just because it's, you know, it was 4 years plus extracurricular activities plus internships.
So where were you abroad?
Shanghai.
Shanghai.
So I did Shanghai.
Wow. How
For how
amazing.
many years?
So it was 1 year, like I think
Wow.
10 months. But I got an internship. So I was studying Chinese at the time in
Uh-huh.
college. And I wanted to study abroad, and I found Shanghai, and I was like, that's a great place to practice my Chinese. I got there after taking 4 years of college. You get there, and you're like, I have no idea what I'm saying. Like, I have all these, like, words,
yeah.
but I can't speak it, right?
And how was it by immersion? Were you able to pick things up?
Yes. So the first word or phrase I learned was "iping pitio." Well, yeah, iping pitio.
Oh, what is that?
Could I please have a beer?
Was the next one, where's the bathroom?
No, not really. But I wish I had.
Yeah.
So,
So, did you live by yourself there, or did you
Um,
have like other roommates or something?
so I had another roommate. So it was a program where you studied, like part of the program was like the first was just study abroad, right? And then after that, you could apply to work abroad. So I applied to work abroad, and I worked for this PR company in Shanghai. It's actually in Pudong, which is kind of like the business side of Shanghai.
Go ahead. Keep going.
And it was a PR and events company, and what they did, they promoted American products in the Chinese economy.
Oh.
So I worked with a group of people that they were Chinese, they were from there, and I just had like the language thing that we would like talk
Uh-huh.
about, putting on like a booth about American cheese. Like I think one of the products was American cheese.
It was selling American products in China,
In
which
China.
it has been a pretty hard sell, right? Because
Mhm.
the Chinese people haven't really taken to American stuff that well, right?
I mean, that was was it 2000, what are we in? 2000, maybe 10, 11?
Oh,
How was
Huh.
the response to you personally? Did you?
Everybody loved me.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
everybody was really
everybody's
nice.
friendly
Yeah,
and-
everybody was really friendly. I think they were. If you were to like a clubs, because we went to a lot of like clubs,
Uh huh.
a lot of times they wouldn't like American girls or mainly also American guys standing on like the little booth area dancing.
Uh-huh.
They wanted the Chinese people to be up there.
Steve has no
Because-
idea what that means, but
I-
I know
I have
exactly
no
what that
clue.
means. There's a box and you dance
Sounds,
Yeah.
and you're like,
sounds like American
But they were
bias
just like,
to me.
you know, yeah, it was. It was a little bit.
Yeah.
There were some places that were a little biased in that regard. But that was also like the little smaller towns.
Uh-huh.
So like Shanghai is it's very expat. So you will meet people from all around the world. Like I had a lot of my roommates, they were from like Italy. They were from another girl, she's from Switzerland. So there were people from all over the place.
how about the food?
The food was amazing.
Yeah.
So you get like, there was a place that had Mexican food, but it was like high quality Mexican food.
Like
you would-
interior Mexican food, not
Yes.
like
That's
our
very
Tex-Mex.
strange
Yeah.
to me, Barbara. You go to Shanghai or you go to China and you have Mexican food.
It was.
It's like me going to Rome and eating at Five Guys.
I know. It's
Well, let's just say that the burgers were more expensive than like some of the other food, like
Uh-huh.
even Chinese food, because a lot of what they eat is a lot of vegetables and like chicken, you know, and all this kind of stuff, like rice. But if you went to go get a burger, it was more expensive to eat there. Like even like a Whataburger, not Whataburger, but what is McDonald's?
Uh-huh.
It was more expensive. Like your bill would be more.
I think most places burgers are more expensive than McDonald's. It's got to be one of the worst hamburgers in the world.
Hey, if you're hungry, McDonald's will slap.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
For sure.
when you went to St. Ed's, what was your degree in?
It's funny. International business with a minor in theater.
Oh, okay.
But it was for a spin, kind of. My dream was musical theater. Like, I wanted to get a musical theater degree, but my parents were like, we're not going to pay for that. You know?
It was probably smart.
It was very smart.
Yeah.
It was. So I was able to still get an international business degree with a minor in theater and a little marketing, and I did photography and piano. So that was
Wow.
my outlet.
Yeah.
So as a minor in theater, you do arts administration. So I did a lot of like tech work for, you know, the theater there. I didn't actually apply to audition in any of the plays there. But that was just because it takes, like, those people, like, your time is like, you're there for like 30 hours
Yeah.
doing like theater stuff, like actually acting and practicing and all this stuff when they're preparing for it.
Is this where you met John Ray? At
No.
St. Ed's? No, my gosh.
Where
So
did you
how-
meet him? Your husband, John Ray.
So I met him. So after college, I also did, I worked for Marriott International. Well, actually, no, I worked for White Lodging. So I worked at a hotel because I wanted to check out the hotel industry. And then after that, I was just, you know, working for my dad, helping him like manage his business because he was like, I really need help. He has properties, all this kind of stuff. And then one of those days, I used to go to, I don't know if you remember this place called Baker Street.
Mhm.
Back in the day on
Yeah.
South Lamar.
Yeah.
I would go there all the time. Like, that
Yeah.
was my spot.
Right next to Half Price Books.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's
Is
right
it still
there.
there?
Remember the show, The Office?
Yeah.
Office Space? That's where that was filmed.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
That's
had
where
no
that was
idea.
filmed.
Didn't
Yeah, it's
know
not.
that.
The Baker Street isn't still there. It's called something else.
Okay.
Now, but
So we went to Baker Street, and I was getting a cheesecake to go. Because I was like, I literally would go. Like, the bartender, they knew me. Like, it was like hangout spot. After, like, when I worked at the hotel, I would get out at like 10 o'clock sometimes. And I would just go there and hang out. So I was waiting for my cheesecake because I'd already ordered it. And then this guy comes up to me, and he's like, hey, I'm new here. Can I, you know, I was like, oh, cool. I was like, nice to meet you. I was like, can I buy you a drink? And I'm like, no, thank you. I was like, no, thank you.
you can buy my cheesecake.
I was like, what are you doing? Like, I'm just getting cheesecake to go. I'm about to head to a party. You know? I was, what, 22, 23? No. Yeah. No, wait. How old am I? Oh, I know how old I am.
Yeah. Were you in school at that time? Or you had already
I
graduated?
had already
Okay.
graduated.
Okay.
I had already graduated. He had just moved from the Woodlands to Austin. And he was a musician. So he came to Austin as a musician. And I used to volunteer for the Hostel International downtown Austin. So I'd like to show people around town. Like, I would take them to the Greenbelt. I would take them bar hopping. I did a lot of like all the crazy things, like Pinballs Arcade. I don't know
Yes,
if you know Pinballs. I would take them to Pinballs because it was like BYOB. So it was like a very different thing that you could do,
Yeah.
you know? So for me, when he said, I just moved here from Houston, I was like, oh, I would love to show you around. Like, you know, I can take you to, you know, there's so many cool places. And he was checking out his friend's band playing at Baker Street. And he was like, okay, can I have your number? And I'm like, sure. So I gave him my number. Took him 3 times before we went out on a date.
He kept trying.
He kept trying.
Hey, can we meet up for coffee? Hey, can I
Oh, he
take you
didn't
to
say
di-
coffee first. No. He said, hey, could you want to meet downtown? My friend's having a show. And I was like, I don't even remember what you look like. I met you, but I don't
You
even
did
know.
not make a good first
I
impression.
was like, I don't know you. Like, we barely talked. Like, it was literally like, yeah, sure, I would love to show you around, but, you know. And it was, you know, drinks, nighttime. I was like, no, that's not good. I think he tried again, and he was like, hey, do you want to come over and watch a movie with my sister? I was like, he's coming from a small town, so
Yeah.
that for him, that's normal.
That's normal.
Yeah.
You're like, this is serial killer vibes.
And I
right
was
here.
just like, I don't, come over to your house to watch a
Yeah.
movie with your sister? That's a little weird.
Yeah.
So I was like, no. I was like, I'll just hang out at home and, you know, Netflix and, you know, we can talk.
Netflix and chill. Yeah.
That was during that same period of time. So,
Okay.
and then afterwards, he tried again. He said, well, and I guess we might have talked for a little bit because he knew I was vegetarian at the time. And he said, do you want to go get food at Bolden Creek's? Do you want to go to lunch tomorrow at Bolden Creek's? I was like, sure. It was April Fool's Day, though.
Oh.
And that morning, I woke up and I said, should I text him and say, Happy April Fools? And then just cancel?
Oh God.
Because I
That's
was
so
just like,
mean.
I know. that was like a little bit of like my, you know, mean, like not sneaky, like just personality.
How long have
Yeah.
y'all been married now?
We've been married since 2000 and, oh, hold on. I should know this.
Yes, you should know.
I should know this.
More than 10 years?
No, we started dating in 2014.
Now he's gonna listen to this and
Yeah.
he's
I
gonna
know.
he's gonna be like, oh, he's got it.
Well, now on the spot, I'm like, darn it. So it was 2019 we got married.
Okay.
So
Right
not
before COVID?
quite. Yes, right before COVID.
Okay.
So not quite 10 years.
And you have one or
two
kids.
2 kids now. But we started dating in 2014.
Okay.
So we've known each other.
You played the long game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely the long game. We actually have a song about how we met.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
on Spotify.
So what does he play? What?
He plays everything and anything.
Really?
Yeah, he plays like synthesizer. He plays guitar. He plays some drums. He's gotten better at the drums actually. But he plays, anything. He also produces music. So he does a lot of production. So when I met him, I was taking drum lessons with another friend of mine at the time, and I always liked music. So it was just like, I think our first date at that place turned into literally we just never stopped hanging out together.
So
That's cool. You
is-
just
And we
hit it
started
off
business
and now it's-
together.
yeah.
have you ever performed with him?
Yeah,
You have.
we have our band. It's called Moonray.
Moonray. Okay.
We
Okay,
used
so
to perform.
Moonray is the band. Is that
Okay.
right? Because you have multiple businesses listed here. You have Kingdom Sound, Moon Lab Studios, Moonray, Luna Properties, and Barbie Shoots.
Yes.
Well, that's a lot going on. I was trying to think. Michelle and I were talking, and I was thinking it's sort of like the gig economy where you have like all these different jobs going on at one time. I don't know how you keep track. So, let's start off with Kingdom Sound. What is Kingdom Sound,
Live sound production company.
and what does that mean?
So we do events, anything from small corporate events to even conferences to large scale festivals.
So you would be the company that would come in. Say somebody was going to have 1,000 people come in for a conference. You would set the sound up.
Yes.
Okay.
Mallory,
And
turn
if-
around and look at the screen right
If
now.
you have speakers.
Oh my gosh.
I
you
do.
can
Is
see
that you, Barbara?
Yes.
Oh
That
my
was in our-
gosh.
that was in our music days. That was. Right
Let's see if I
before
can.
COVID. Oh God.
If I can. Here.
Moonray-music.com. Oh, there's a DeLorean.
A DeLorean. Look at that.
Look at you.
Musical theater. How long ago was this,
Don't have
Barb?
much time.
That was in
If we want to beat
2000
darkness,
and
Is that
it
genre?
might have been 2019. Man, I should have the date.
I'm gonna just fast
Diego
forward it.
Lozano film. Is that genre?
Yeah, that's genre. That's us. As soon as we met, we started making music together.
Oh, y'all are quirky. So much
Yeah.
fun. This is so cool. You guys, okay, our listeners need to go moonray-music.com.
That was a fun video. It was shot in 2 days. We were waking up at 7 in the morning.
Oh, this is really cool. Okay, sorry.
Who did the camera work for? Did you hire somebody
That was Diego Lozano. He was a director, and he organized everything. So he's a really good director. Now he directs for commercials. He did some other music videos in Austin. But he also did, his big thing right now is commercials.
Wow.
So this
That
is
is
like
very,
this kind of
very
snuck in
eclectic.
under the radar
It
a little
did,
bit, did
yeah,
it not? Like
yeah.
we didn't know about
But
for sure about this. This is really cool. So you guys recorded an album,
Yes.
right? And so what was the response to it? So you do these festivals. What kind of music festivals do you guys do?
We do anything and everything. When we first started Kingdom Sound was 2015.
Okay.
And it started because one of our friends got us, we were musicians at the
Yeah.
time,
Uh-huh.
and we had gear, like live sound gear. We were like, hey, why don't we rent the gear to make some money,
Yeah.
right? So then one of our friends was like, hey, I have a contact at Silker Botanical Festival. Do you guys want to run the sound? And we're like, yes.
Oh my gosh.
We brought all our gear for like dirt cheap. I'm not even
Uh-huh.
kidding you. Like it was just him and me like running everything
For the Silker?
for the Silker Botanical Festival.
gosh.
It was like I think a weekend or 2 weekends, I don't remember, but it was
Wow.
like, we were doing
Yeah.
everything.
But
Yeah.
sometimes you got to do that just to get your name out,
Mhm.
to get out there.
Yeah. That was a deal. And then afterwards I was like, okay, well let's just put it on Craigslist. So I made an ad on Craigslist, and this guy reached out to us to do frat gigs at UT.
Okay.
And those frat gigs, they bring in like famous artists, right?
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They pay some money for like some good artists.
Wow.
So we got our teeth cut like just doing sound gigs at fraternity parties. You know, and at the time, I mean, we were able to stay up till 3 a.m. You
Uh-huh.
know, and I would be wrapping cables, you know, putting all this stuff together, you know, boxing the gear. Eventually, we ended up hiring engineers just because John was like, I like the studio engineering. I'm not a big fan of the live engineering.
Yeah.
So we ended up we learned that by doing it so often. We're like, this is impossible. Like, we're burnt out, we're tired.
Yeah.
Right? And then this guy, he also got us a gig at Hotspot. So when Hotspot first opened, we were the sound company for that for
I don't know
Hotspot.
what's Hotspot.
It's this venue in North Austin.
Okay.
Now they're a different company, like somebody else runs the sound. But at that point, we were working with this guy. We were doing that, and then from there, people just word of mouth. We just ended up getting gigs in different places, and then when we moved to Dripping Springs, Austin is just so busy.
Mm-hmm.
So we moved to Dripping Springs. Like, was like, this is like meant to be, because our wedding party was actually at the Terrace Club. Little did we know we were going to move to Dripping Springs until we bought that house, and we're like, we're here. Like, I think we're meant to be here, and we ended up, my goal was, I knew about the Dripping Springs Songwriter Festival, and I wanted to pitch to run that. Like, that would have been like an amazing thing to do, because we love songwriters. And also as musicians ourselves, we understand this sound.
Sure.
And I saw you guys at Founders.
Yeah,
You were
so
running the sound at Founders.
So this was our
did you
first
get in
year.
with the music festival?
Yes.
Okay.
So we got Dripping Springs Songwriter Festival. We're actually doing it for third year this time in October. So that's going to be us. It's 7 stages. So we only do 6 stages, and then Hudson's has their own. It's indoors.
Okay.
But then we also got Founders this past year.
Wow.
So we bid for that as well. And that was like, we really just want to be part of the community. Like we want to be, and I love small towns.
Yeah.
So I was like, I love Dripping Springs. I used to come here and like just visit and like go shop around. And it used to be kind of like, there used to be nothing here back in the day.
Yeah.
Even in college, I was, you could come here and it was like a small town feel. Now it's grown.
Really, it's really grown a lot in the last 10 years or so, but you're right. It used to just be a wide spot in the road. When you say you're going to do the music festival and you got 6 stages, is that what you said? God, that sounds like a ton of equipment. You guys own all that equipment, or you rent it? Or?
No, we've actually purchased equipment. We actually just got line arrays this past year. So now we are able to do, those line arrays that you see kind of hanging at big festivals.
Idea, no.
Like if you go to like ACL.
Okay.
So like those big line arrays, we just got those in this past year.
What's a line array do? I don't even know what that is.
So it projects the music. It's like usually like 1, 2, 3. You can do like 6 on each side, and it projects the music at this like angle like that.
Oh, okay.
So it gets
a
larger audience,
okay.
and they sound really good. Like especially if you're having a live band performing, it just has a better sound.
Yeah.
Do you and John Ray have defined roles in the company, or do you kind of tag team off of each other, like kind of whatever is needed? Like, Steve and I've worked for Steve for a little over 10 years. You don't work for John Ray. This is a company with you guys, but we have defined roles, but a lot of times, our roles kind of bleed into each other a little bit. Are you picking up his slack and vice versa?
So a little bit sometimes, but I'm more of like the tech lady. So I'm the tech person.
Oh, well, will you help us out in our studio, please? Because I'm just making this up as I go along.
So any like plugins, John is like, Barbara, can you update all this? Like, for example, the consoles, they have to be, software needs to be updated.
Okay.
Every, certain months they come out with a new software update. If you don't update it, then you're on the field, and then that kind of breaks down and doesn't work the way you want it to be. So my goal is to update all the software on, that's what I do. Like I do software updates. And then I make sure that we have, because we have tablets, like iPads, for a lot of our consoles. So we make sure that we have like the app updated for when our engineer is using it, everything connects seamlessly. So that's kind of like more of like my position, and then also like invoices and, sending payments and all that kind of stuff.
The business side of it, yeah. When you have 6 stages, do you have 6 audio engineers managing the stages, or can you guys all do it from one place?
We have more than 6 sound engineers. So we usually have 1 sound engineer per stage, but we also have techs. So the tech is kind of like the running. This past year was my first year being on site, because the year before I was pregnant and I had just given birth. Yeah. And my husband did everything by himself. He was like running around in like a little car.
That's a lot.
It was a lot.
It's a lot.
So this past year I was on site, and I was more like, checking to see, hey, does the engineer need food? How's the stage doing? Do they need a break? And then we have 2 techs that are running around and know how to run a sound, board, but they're not on that same level as an engineer is. So we have like our A1 and our A2s. So the A1s are going to be the runs running the sound. And then the A2s just pop in with like, maybe plugging in the cables, making sure the artist has their connection the right way, making sure that if the engineer needs a potty break, they go take a potty break. If they need food, we'll just have them run, bring some food. Like I was bringing like coffee for some engineers and just honestly, it was just driving around and checking on the stages, making sure the sound is good, making sure if you hear any comments, we do hear the comments when people are right there listening to music. Every time I'm like, I'll see like at the stage, especially in like a small town, I can hear like, people are like, oh, what's going on? Like, what do they sound like? You can hear, and I'm like,
well, that's cool though.
Let's check on that. I was like, let's talk to the engineer about this.
Just having the little bit of experience we have with a couple of things we do here, that gives me the heebie-jeebies to think about whatever 300, 400, 500 people standing out there listening to the audio through what you set up and the number of places that can go wrong.
But wouldn't it be cool though, Steve, to just kind of sit in
and
watch and just sit
back
back and watch what they're doing and
running this little Rodecaster Pro 2, which is really nothing compared to what you guys run, just overwhelms me sometimes. So it's pretty cool that you guys have learned. How did you learn how to do all that stuff?
So John Ray learned the mixing because he used to do mixes on music first. So it kind of translates to live sound. But you do have to get some training on the specific console. So we've used, in the past, we would have someone come in and host a training for like some of our engineers. And we would just have like pizza and food or something. And we would just host the training and they would go through all the different parameters. Like, what does this do? Or how can you get into this screen? Because a lot of times, some of our consoles, you have to like dive deep into screens. And so we got to the point where we were hiring also people that were really knowledgeable for that specific console, and it would translate to other consoles. And then those people would recommend other engineers that were good at it. And we got to the point where like John was like, I'd rather hire someone that's really good at it and knows their stuff, because I know some that I'm not like I can't master. Like we've had some engineers that are like they make like fades in the music while they're performing live. Like they just make like the voice speak, come out more. The guitar is sounding better. Like they add maybe some reverb to the guitar live.
Oh, okay.
So we needed founders. We had some amazing engineers at Founders.
So they're not just sitting there and they go, okay, I got the levels good, and they're watching. They're moving. They're adjusting the sound as it goes on. That's pretty wild.
Are these guys that you're working with, are these all gig workers? In the music industry, or is there a union that you reach out to these particular workers, or do you have like a pool of people that you're constantly pulling from?
We work with contractors. So a lot of them, back in the day, this guy, he started Austin Sound Engineers. It's this guy and this girl. And we joined, and I joined at first when we first started a company, and that's where we found a lot of our engineers. Okay. And we started with some that were just learning, kind of like at the same level that we were at. And then eventually they got really good, and now they're like with touring bands. Like we have some engineers that we started with, and now they're like, they're not touring with like famous bands up over there, and we're like, can you come back? But I'm like, it's kind of cool to see them grow. Like, so we've given them opportunities to run sound for so many other musicians, especially with the UT frat gigs. Like they were able to have the opportunity to run sound for like a famous hip hop artist, or a famous EDM artist that you wouldn't normally get,
and it builds their resume.
Oh, I get that. That makes sense. Wow. That's a lot going on right there. I didn't know you guys did all that. So also on your bio, Moon Lab Studios. What is that?
Moon Lab Studios. So we used to be everything under Kingdom Sound.
Okay.
But then we realized, we're like, well, Kingdom Sound is more of a production stuff, but we also want to help artists record their music. Because we were already doing that under Kingdom Sound. I feel like that was taking more than our sound company was for a period of time. But then eventually we focused more on Kingdom Sound. We even hired a business coach to help us figure things out. And he was like, you need to get a storage unit. We're now getting a storage place. Yay! For the first time.
So you're not having to live out of a garage.
Yeah. So we live out of we have a shed. But that shed is getting overflowed. Like there's you have to do play Tetris.
And you probably also need climate controlled, and you have a lot of expensive equipment now that you're getting a little bit more.
So you're saying you had a studio inside a shed?
No, all of their equipment was
your equipment was stored in a shed. Okay.
So when we have Moon Lab Studios, actually our equipment back in the small small space was in the garage. You're right.
Yeah.
It was. I think people would show up and like clients would be like, I just picked up this gear from the garage.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, I mean, that's
I mean,
no,
you know,
there's
that's-
no
It
way we
works,
could be
it
in the garage
works.
anymore.
Yeah.
But Moon Lab Studios had to be separated. We talked to a business coach and they were like, you know, you want to keep your sound company here and you want to keep your studio separate. It just made sense. And we sat down and talked about it and we're like, it makes sense. Like we can focus on two different things. And at the same time, they all kind of connect with each other. Because, for example, we run sound for some of our artists that we record. And we are able to offer those services. And a lot of the artists that we also have come into the studio, they met us at a sound gig. So we ran
Oh.
sound for them. And they, you know, we really liked them. And we reached out to them. We're like, hey, do you have any content out? Do you have any music out? We'd love to record you. We really like you.
That's really cool. So, recording studios kind of notoriously have some outlandish stories and stuff without kind of breaking any kind of confidentiality. What's kind of the craziest story that you've had, whether famous or non-famous?
And if you don't have one, make one up.
yeah, you don't have a big one.
I mean, we don't have any crazy stories. But we've seen so many of our artists grow to the level that they're like signed to a label.
That's really
Which
neat.
is like, for
That's pretty
us,
cool.
that's a huge deal. Like we've had an artist, Coleman Jennings. I'm saying his name because
Yeah.
there's no. But he's a great musician. He came into our studio and we help him with his website. We'd help him with like Instagram, social media, recording his first songs, and he's now signed to a label.
Is he
And
local?
He'll
Is he
be.
someplace?
He was a UT
Okay,
Austin
okay.
student, and he's actually going to be releasing an album this year.
We have our
That's pretty
local
cool.
kids, Logan Papp and Ty Myers.
Ty
do his-
Myers.
Ty
Yes.
Myers is
Did you
blowing
ever
things.
work with Ty?
So we ran sound for Ty.
Okay.
I think his dad. I think
Yeah,
his
Michael.
dad
Uh-huh.
hired us for sound, and I think my husband delivered. I'm not sure who it was on that one, but I do remember making an invoice for that.
We had him here in the studio.
Yeah,
and
right.
he's a
Like
great
right
kid.
before he just went, off the planet. He came
Yeah.
in right when he was just really launching his
Uh-huh.
career.
He had
He's
the
taken
flu.
off.
Remember?
Yeah.
He was so sick. His picture that we have of him, he looks like he's asleep, but
he
he's
still
like
showed up.
he's sick as a
That's
dog.
a true
Yeah.
artist right there.
That's-
Yeah.
Another client that we are working with that I have hopes that he's local. It's Mitch, and I think he might have been on your.
Oh,
podcast.
Mitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he came and did a retreat with us for a whole
Head trick.
week. Head trick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he came and did a retreat with us for a week. I think it was a month ago, and he got back into music. So I keep getting on his butt. I'm like, I want to see something.
Wait a minute. I
Yeah.
thought he was still. Is he back or is he still living in Tampa?
He's back.
Okay.
I didn't know
Well,
that.
I'm
We haven't
gonna.
I saw
run
him
into him yet.
yesterday, so
Yeah.
Mitch,
Okay.
I'm gonna text you, and you're gonna be in big trouble,
We
Mister.
are disappointed that
Yeah.
you didn't let us know
You're
were
gonna be
back.
in big trouble for sure.
Yeah.
We love Mitch.
he's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, because actually I'm going to Tampa next week, and I was like, well, I'll text Mitch and see
Yeah.
what's up with him.
Barbara, has your business gotten to the point now where you're not having to advertise or anything? Just people are coming to you and you have more business than you can handle, or are you still trying to grow it?
We're at the point where we're still trying to grow. We started doing Google Ads, I think
Okay.
2 months ago, and
Okay.
it was mainly for our consoles because we got some new consoles that are primarily touring consoles.
Okay.
So some of our business is touring packages, which those are, they pick it up, they leave for 6 weeks.
Oh, you're just renting them the
Yeah.
equipment. Okay, gotcha.
So we do that too. We do a lot of touring packages, and a lot of them is like, famous musicians that are playing in LA, and they're also touring all the way across. So they want to take their gear with them along the way. So we do that
I
package.
wonder, does that make financial sense for them to rent them or lease them from you versus buying their own?
So when we talked to one of our engineers, they said yes, because there's something about, I don't know if it's like insurance or something related with that whenever they rent it, they're just like in the budget or like in whatever their schedule is for the, the tour or whatever it is, it just makes more sense to just do that. Also, sometimes they go across country. So that's another thing. Like they may go to China, they may go to Japan.
I've heard a lot of musicians chitter chatter about Southwest Airlines, and with their no free bags, they used to let musicians travel with their guitars in their case, and it wouldn't be extra. And now now that they're charging, people are like bouncing off of Southwest
Oh,
Airlines
yeah.
because of that. But
no.
yeah, it's yeah, I can only imagine how like you're taking your prized possession, you know, your
or
guitar
something
or whatever,
very, very expensive.
and you're watching the
yeah.
baggage handlers just
Yeah,
kind
I
of
know.
chunk it
Yeah,
over.
because these consoles got to be super expensive.
They are. So we do work with some, I can't remember, there's a name for them, but there's a service that comes and picks them up, and they will deliver it at the airport where they're landing.
Oh, okay.
So,
you
they
don't
don't
have to have
go
it on
through,
baggage claim.
yeah,
Oh,
they're
that's
not
nice.
going
Yeah.
through baggage claim. It's more of like, this is a service that we just pick it up, and they're way cheaper. They charge a lower fee.
Yeah.
And you just, I mean, it's easy.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you in regards to your business. So you guys started out this young couple, you know, I mean, but you graduated from college and you guys are just kind of figuring this out as you go along. How did you learn the business sense of it? Did you, from the very beginning, did you go to like the Small Business Administration and did you like go to the bank and get loans, or did you have family support? How did you initially start to where you are today?
So we do have family investors that are supporting as far as like the gear goes. But we also, when we first started, we did the Small Business Administration. I think it's in Austin. They have some courses for like small businesses. And Johnny will be like laughing about this because I would drag him at 8 a.m. because he was a musician, and at that age he was like, I'm not getting up past like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. right? So I would drag him, and we would make it there at 8 a.m. and they would go over, you know, the small business,
Your business plan,
yes,
and what
all
your
of that. And like I knew some of that from college, but you know, you forget about it, and it's very different when you go and learn how to start a small business.
Well, now you're vested because you're
Yes.
it's your money and your time, and you're trying to learn about, like, instead of it's just like some abstract
Right.
you know,
So
idea.
were these, you borrowed money from SBA, or these were just free classes that
They're
they
free
offer?
class. No, they have classes.
But you didn't have to pay. I mean, you didn't have to be engaged with the SBA in some. Well, that's pretty.
Maybe
cool.
it
I didn't
wasn't
know the
SBA. Maybe it was. I think it might have been SBA. I don't remember. It's a program that they offer in Austin, and it's like Travis County small business.
Yeah, it would be.
I
Yeah.
bet it
It
is.
must
I
be
bet
that.
It is. Yeah.
And they would host them like, you know, where Toys R Us used to be.
Yeah.
They would host them in that little spot area.
Okay.
And you just show up,
Yeah, I
and there
think
was like
that's really cool.
20,
If you're
30
thinking
people.
about running a business, I think there's a lot of people that start small businesses and they think, well, you know, they have a hobby and they're really good at it, and they go, well, I'm really good at this hobby, but if you're going to have a business, you also have to be a business person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and like in real estate, we talk about it all the time. Your marketing, your PR, your your all these different things that customer relations. You're all those things wrapped up into one.
The
person or
business of
one
doing business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't think about that, but you've got that background for it.
Yeah, and not just that, but my husband was in restaurants too. So he had the sales, and he had he worked for Sandra Bullock's restaurant downtown, like as
Oh, I
far as
really
like
like that place.
fancy
Yeah.
restaurants, like he had the service, and I was in service oriented like activities in college, so I understood also working for White Lodging Marriott. You get like when I would interview, because I would interview for front desk manager, you go through like a 4-hour interview process. And it's like, I can't remember the name of it, but they literally go through like your childhood and everything into that period all the way up to where you're at now. And
It's like being on a
4 hours.
podcast.
It is. It's crazy.
For sure. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think I do agree with you. I think there's a lot of people that have some hobby and they're like, oh, I'm going to turn this into a business, and that's where
a
it
lot
fails.
of times they fail because they don't realize you also have
Do
to
you
have some.
do you guys
business
have a
acumen.
professional mentor that you guys can go to that kind of has an established studio, or
Who do you go to for advice?
So we do. We have several mentors that we know and that we have recommendations. I mean, Eric Serafin is one of our mixing engineers that he mixes our songs. And, sometimes we ask him for advice on like a client or something like that. We also have mentors his, father-in-law. I mean, not father-in-law, his stepdad also will have.
I was going to say that would be your father if it's his
my father-in-law will also have, guide us, and like
Yeah.
family will guide us. My parents would guide us. They would also kind of like my dad was more of like, he's starting his own business as well. So I've always been involved in, the little nitty gritty stuff about business. And I was always like, can
There's
you help me
your
with this?
advantage.
Can you help me with that? The one thing that I always say, like, even as musicians and even as, any small business, or like you said, like for musicians, music is the easy part, really. The rest is knowing how to market it, knowing how to reach out to the right people, knowing how to, sell your product, because what do you have?
Yeah.
What are you offering?
And handle problems as they pop up. I think a lot of people melt down the first time they have an obstacle, but that's part of business. It's just the things come and go. We first met you at the Dripping Springs Women's Club thing, and you had asked us because you wanted to start your own podcast. Have you done it yet?
I have not, and I'm going to do it. I'm a planner, and that is one of my, I like to say that's one of my good things, and also downsides.
An
sometimes.
over planner, apparently.
Over planner, yes. And I've always been an over planner with everything. And my husband, that's why we're a great team, because I will give him an idea, and he'll be more like,
let's go.
Let's go.
That's me.
But your
podcast,
though, is not necessarily about music. Your podcast is your other life, your passion, which is health.
It is. So it is called The Healthy Rabbit. And I already started creating all the logo, and I already started creating all the names. I think I already created an Instagram account. I just haven't posted on it. But it's going to revolve around the circle of life. And in a way, it's about the circle of like the different areas that make a person healthy, which is not just eating food.
Right.
It's, doing your passion, doing something that you love. Also education, like learning, because you should never stop learning. That's my thing. Like, I feel like that really keeps people young.
Well, and in health, what was people took for granted 25 years ago, now research has shown that's not true. You think like the food pyramid is a perfect example of that. 25 years ago, we were all trying to live that food pyramid. Now we're all like, maybe not so much. So so education and your health journey is super important.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. So education, health journey, your passion, your art, creativity, home cooking, your finances. That's also part of, if you think about it.
Well, organic food is very expensive as well. When you say finances, it is kind of funny about how they want you to eat healthy, but the healthier the food is, the more expensive it is.
But the counter to that is, if you eat unhealthy food, you're going to spend a lot more money in healthcare costs. Guaranteed. You'll go to the doctor a lot more, and when you do get sick, you're going to have some serious
I think
things.
that's like, RFK also right now, when he's adjusting this food pyramid. I think they say the food pyramid gets adjusted every 4 or 5 years, something like that. But all of the additives and the dyes that they're trying to take out of all of our foods, and I think and the products they're taking away from the WIC programs and the SNAP programs, you should not be able to buy Coca-Cola when you're
a lot of the food that we eat too much of in this country is horrible. Isn't it, Barbara?
My thing is, I like to keep it simple. You need vegetables.
Yeah.
You need fruits.
Yeah.
You need some healthy carbs.
Protein.
You need some protein, and you need fiber.
Well, I wanted to ask you this question. So, how, as a vegetarian, are
you still a vegetarian?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Okay. So, why are you not? And 2, how were you getting enough protein when you were
Maybe
a
that's why
strictly
she's
vegetarian?
not a vegetarian anymore.
So that was one of the biggest things. So I became vegetarian. I was doing yoga at the time. And I got to the point where I was I was a little unhealthy level. I ended up getting a hernia. And I had to go to the hospital and get the hernia removed. It was about to, if I hadn't gone, it was purple.
Oh,
It was turning purple.
Ooh,
so that took me down to not being able to workout for another, 6 weeks maybe? And that shifted my perspective and was like, okay, obviously I thought I was doing fine being vegetarian and doing yoga and meditating, all this stuff. But in reality, I wasn't. I was overdoing it. My body was not, it wasn't healing, and it wasn't, having that time of rest, because rest is needed, right? You can't just be working out all the time and not rest. You also can't just be working out all the time and not do other things that you love and that you enjoy. So that's one of the things that turned me into that. And then also, my husband, he eats meat. So the one thing that I don't eat majority of the time is red meat. So I do like bison. But I also try to do bison with lots of broccoli. I like broccoli and carrots. So I think that was one of the points that made me kind of shift. And then I also went into, during COVID, I was pregnant, and as a soon-to-be mom, I wanted to learn more about my health. So I signed up for IIN, which is the health coach certificate, and I did it in 6 months. And I would wake up in the morning at 5 because I couldn't fall asleep because baby was kicking.
Yeah.
And I literally just did it in 6 months, and I finished it. And that opened my eyes to I think you do 100 different dietary theories. So it opened my eyes to like see all the different like diets that people get into. But at the end of the day, you need fruit, vegetables, protein.
It's pretty simple.
Was
pretty
it hard for
simple.
you though to make that kind of mental shift? Not necessarily on a taste bud level, but like from a mental, you're like, because when you were a vegetarian, there was probably a reason why you became vegetarian, right? Whether it was ethical reasons or whatever it is. And then now all of a sudden you're like, okay, I need to do this for my body. I have to. So how did you switch your way of thinking?
I think it was a lot of like dive deep into my own health and how can I make, like I went to doctor and I had like a puffy belly. Like it looked like I was pregnant at one point and it was hard. So I went to 3 different doctors and one of them was like, let's do an elimination diet. So it all kind of led to like different people kind of like sharing their expertise, which is why like I feel like the healthy rabbit is like an ideal thing.
Yeah.
Because
you're going down a rabbit hole.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just the rabbit hole, but like everybody, like there's so many different areas that actually help your health. It's not just the food you eat, and it's not just moving your body, and it's not just doing your passion, what you love. It's all of that.
Yeah.
And it's also like if your finances are, a hinder on your life right now, that's going to affect your food, how your food is digested. That's also going to affect how your productivity is. And if you eat the right foods, that's also going to affect how your creativity can be explored. And sometimes you need to have a little more.
It's a big circle, like you said. Yeah, if you're not performing well at work, you don't make as much money. You don't have as much money to buy good food. Yeah, it's this vicious cycle. Well, I want to encourage you not to overthink your podcast and just, you have all the equipment. That's what stops most people. You have all the equipment.
And you have the know-how.
And you have the know-how. I would do it next week. Start it next week, especially if you have all the artwork done. Just do it.
But
just get it going.
Consistency, right, Mallet?
That's what we've discovered.
You've got to
the number one thing that throws people off is they go, if you look, I think 80% of the podcasts that are out there have less than 10 episodes. I think it is.
What is she, 186?
Yeah, you're 188. You're episode 188.
You are amazing.
But the thing about it is they do the first couple, they're very enthusiastic, and then the third, fourth, and fifth one, maybe you're not getting the traction that you want, and so you get a little bit disappointed, and then it starts to become kind of a trudgery. But if you keep going, at some point, our first couple were... well, first of all, they kind of sucked, but we got through them. And people go back now and
I wouldn't say they
them.
sucked. I would say they sucked compared to where we are now. We still suck, but we don't suck as much as we used to suck.
But I encourage
I think you're doing great.
Thank you.
We're having a lot of
You
fun
give
with
me
it.
hilarious.
Oh,
Because
thank
I've
you.
thought about a podcast for like years. I'm not even kidding you. I brought it to my husband. He's like, you sure it's not going to take a lot of time? Are you
I
sure it's not going to be
I think with your passion for what you're talking about and the knowledge that you already have, you could start tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think you could knock it out of
It
the
is
park.
funny because listening to you or watching you talk about this and then talk about Kingdom Sound, you're both very excited, but when you talk about your health journey, you're very animated and you can tell that's your
you're
passion
passionate about it.
for sure.
You can tell. So I'm going to email you next week. Have you started your podcast
No.
yet? So
I feel like everybody should have an opportunity to be healthy and not just feel like it's food. I guess.
But there's so much disinformation out there now,
is.
especially on social media. There's so much crap.
It's overwhelming.
It really is. It's hard to figure out the truth from the falsehoods out there. Okay, what's really, for a while, carbs were terrible for you. Now you follow professional cyclists. They're eating 120 grams of carbs an hour when they're working
Well,
out.
you know why?
It's a
It's
huge
because
amount of
if it's coming, I think there's a big movement that if it's coming from the government, it's got to be false. And it all started
that's
via COVID, during the COVID times, and they're trying to push this vaccine shot down everybody's throat. And I think everybody's
that did a lot of harm.
I think everybody's weary, and it's kind of refreshing to have RFK in there and say, okay, man, like this needs to go, and that
Right.
and how weird is it that you can go to Europe and I can eat bread in Europe, but I can't eat bread down
I
the
know,
street.
right?
It's
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
stupid. It's bread.
Get some sourdough.
Yeah, it's bread. I eat sourdough. I eat sourdough exclusively now.
sourdough.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Well, it is true, but I think we're headed in the right direction in this country. Well, Barbara, you had in your bio that one of your special talents is that you can hula hoop.
Yeah, you
for
can hula hoop.
Oh yeah.
3.5. You said 3.5 to 4 minutes. So we got a little surprise for you behind the curtain
No,
over
you
here.
did not. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, why didn't you tell me? I so
No,
would have
you
gotten
did
one.
not.
I would have gotten
That
a
would
hula
be
hoop.
I'm kidding.
That would have been awesome.
I do know how long because I've tracked it to one of our songs. I was like, look, I'm gonna hula hoop to this song, and I was in the studio and I was hula hooping, and I was like, I did 3.5, and my husband's like, I was like, hey, that's a skill.
I think that
I
is
was like,
a skill.
I need to get better at it.
I think I could do it for about 6 seconds, maybe.
Okay, we're gonna get a hula hoop.
Yeah.
We're gonna see.
You
Coming soon to
should.
Ballad and Michelle.
That's right. I have a couple of rapid fire questions. Okay, I want to ask you. Okay, so artist, dead or alive, who would you love to record with?
Oh God, that's so hard.
You
First-
can give us a couple if
First
you
one
want.
that comes to mind. Who's your favorite?
I don't have a favorite.
You don't have any favorites?
I don't have it, and I think because I told my husband, like, I was brought in a way where, like, I listened to so many different music, and my personality was like, I want to analyze all, and like when we started making music and started working on songs, I was like, I want to analyze all the best 80s like artists. I do love 80s. I do love 80s. I must say that.
Maybe Whitney Houston. See?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good
See,
one.
I would love to just be able to be a fly on the wall back in the days, like when even though I'm not a Stones fan, but you know the Rolling
Oh,
Stones or the
yes.
Doors or Led Zeppelin, somebody
I guess
like
Led
that,
Zeppelin.
just sit
Yeah.
back there and just watch how that
Before
recording.
music got to be all commercial and
I get
marketing.
Led
Led
Zeppelin would probably.
Oh, that would
be
just
the
be-
guy.
Or like you
Yeah.
know Black Sabbath.
I mean, Fleetwood Mac, right?
oh God,
I
yeah.
mean,
oh
that,
man, the
Stevie
drama.
that would be
right?
The,
Okay.
Yeah, we actually went to the studio in LA where they actually made her booth, and it's
really?
it's gorgeous. It was made for her, and it's a beautiful booth.
Yeah.
You can look it up online.
Okay, I'm
But
gonna
it's at
have
Fleetwood
to.
Mac, and it's at what's the name of the studio? Oh my God, I can't remember. It's in LA because we
Yeah.
went there to do a shooting. We recorded some music there, a short thing, but
That's pretty cool.
they made her own booth, and when we talked to the people there, they actually told us that they actually made a bathroom specifically for her because there were 2 bathrooms there,
Oh.
and there was like the guys' bathroom, and she didn't want to be in the guys' bathroom.
That would be
So
me.
they
I was
made-
like, I need a specific.
This was Stevie Nicks you're talking
Yeah,
about?
Stephen Nicks. You can even look up like Stephen Nicks
Well, look at
singing
that.
booth. I would
There's
say.
a bunch of
Okay,
pictures
so
up
next
there. What's
next
the
question
one?
I have. So you have one day. You have no phone. You can have no business talk. You're with John Ray, right? No kids. Just nothing. Just the two of you. How do you spend it? Where do you guys go?
Where would we go? Hawaii. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Hawaii. Yeah.
24
just turn it
hours.
off.
You got 24
I know.
hours.
I only got 24 hours. Making music.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Making love. I'm just kidding.
Right, there you go. Making love, making music.
Is that safe?
That's,
is
I
that
think
safe?
that's
That's
a
safe.
song.
Totally
making love,
safe.
making music.
Totally safe.
Making love, making music.
And if you had a signature soundtrack or a song to your life up to now, what would it be that you can think of?
It hasn't been recorded yet.
Oh,
Oh, I like that.
look at that.
It has yet to be recorded.
That may be the title of our podcast. It hasn't
if you're
been
okay
recorded
with that,
yet.
we may.
Still working on it.
Yeah, still working on it.
I do want to start a nonprofit, and it's gonna happen. We're starting one this year too.
Oh,
And the Healthy Rabbit.
And the
I'm
Healthy
rabbit. I'm telling you, you got to do it. I think you would get a lot of people who listen. I think you really would. You obviously have a lot of knowledge about it, and people are looking
and
for the
passionate,
truth.
absolutely
Yeah,
passionate. You're very relatable. That's the nice thing that I like. You know, it's like you're
And
not down your throat.
And your journey is a lot of the same people that would listen are on the same kind of journey. They got a couple kids at home, they're trying to keep things going. They got a business or they got a job and they're juggling all that stuff. And I want to be healthy. And you've got the knowledge.
I want
Share it.
none of that fog. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Do you ever notice when you eat like something that's not right for your body, you get like that fog,
Mm-hmm.
and you just can't think.
yeah,
And you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
like why?
but sometimes it's delicious. Like Steve
I
and I were like,
know!
sometimes
I
it's
know.
worth it.
Yeah.
Like,
That's my thing.
this
sugar.
is gonna hurt my stomach, but it's worth it.
I can't have dairy. I'm allergic to dairy. So,
Yeah.
Same.
but when there's like cheesecake that is like really good, I'm like, can I please have a piece?
Yeah.
Oh wait, maybe 2.
I know. Sometimes I do. I cave in.
Welcome to the new cheese club.
Cookies and brownies are my
Yes.
downfall, but I'm
Ooh.
working on
Barb,
that.
you have been just fascinating sitting
It's
here
been a
talking to
treat
you.
to have
Yeah,
you in,
absolutely. We love
Thank you.
to support local businesses. How does someone find you guys if they want to know all about your business.
yeah.
You've got a couple of different websites. Right?
So we got Kingdom Sound if you want live sound production, and also don't forget Dripping Springs Songwriter Festival's coming up.
Oh
So
yeah.
I want people there.
Let me. It's kingdomsoundtx.com for and then Moon Labs Studio. Moon Lab
Studios.
Studio TX.com.
And the
So
Dripping
that's,
Springs.
The Moon Lab is the recording, the studio part, and Kingdom Sound is your production company where you.
And the Songwriters Festival is in October 17th through the 19th.
I'll be in Kansas.
You'll be in Kansas,
I'll be in
like
Kansas.
Dorothy.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun too.
I'll be in Kansas. I'll be
Be running
somewhere
a half
too.
marathon in
Oh,
Kansas City.
wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Congratulations.
maybe I'll be in town and
Yeah.
I'll come and swing by but we love to have you. Maybe we'll get John Ray on here at some point too. Get him a little.
I can't wait to
Little
listen
plug.
to your podcast.
Yeah, we
no,
can.
No pressure though, Barb.
And you let us know when it launches because we'll support
We
you.
will plug it,
We'll
yeah.
plug it here.
No
I think it'd be
pressure.
really good. And remember, it's just like anything else you've done. You won't be perfect at it to begin with, but every episode you'll get better and better and better and better. So do it.
I won't trip over my words and.
Yeah,
So
you know,
who
I
ca-
trip.
who
Hey,
cares?
I
Who
trip
cares?
over my words all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
I make up words.
Yeah, she does.
I do. I make up
she-
words. That's
and
the-
I don't correct her, so I just
Not anymore.
just leave it hanging out there. So, well, Barbara, it's been fun. I'm really glad that you
Thank you
came
so
in today.
much.
So thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are
You guys
welcome.
are doing amazing stuff.
Oh,
Well,
thank
I'm like,
you.
I
Thank
look
you.
up to them like, it's just like, it's like perfect.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Well,
thank
follow. Go and follow her on. You have Instagram also, and then
Yes.
follow us on Instagram
Yes,
too. 'cause-
Mallet and Michelle on Instagram. We
Absolutely.
need some more followers.
Mallet and
to keep
Michelle,
our
okay.
live going.
all right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Wow, that was really fun.
I hope so. I was like,
You did great.
Yeah, I was
You
honestly-
did
I'm like
amazing.
sweating over here.
I was a little